Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Raja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasari Bhagavinda Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Bhagavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Jayo Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radha Radha Damodara Radha Jayo Lalita Vishaka Lalita Vishaka Shri Radhe Jayo Jagannath, Jayo Jagannath, Jayo Baladev, Jayo Subhadra, Jayo Jagannath, Jayo Baladev, Jayo Subhadra. Jayo Nitai, Gora Sunda Nitai, Gora Sunda Gaurari. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya 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 Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya. We can go Haribo, 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 go Haribo. Jai Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya. Astuta Tarastata Srimad Divine Grace Advaita Grinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Jagat Guru Param Guru Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Naravatmanacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Ananta Tati Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Namacharya Brahmacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikhayo Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gauravata Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Damodara Gopa Gopinath Shama Kun Radha Kunja Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mathura Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai, Nilachala Jagannathpuri Dham Ki Jai, Shri Dham Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Shri Gita Nagari Dham Ki Jai. Glories to the beautiful Lordship, Shri Shri Radha Damodara Lalita Vishaka Ki Jai. Glories to the beautiful Lordship, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Jai. Glories to the beautiful Lordship, Shri Shri Go Nitai Ki Jai, Sama Vida Bhakta Vinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gora Premanande. All glories to the assembly waters. All glories to the assembly waters. All glories to the assembly waters. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Thank you all for being here for us to discuss the transcendental message of the Lord from Srimad Bhagavatam. Today's reading is taken from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Canto 7, Chapter 9, text number 44. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Prayena Deva Munaya Swavimukti Kama Munam Charanti Vijanina Parata Nishtaha Naitan Vihaya Kripanna Vimumukshak Eko Nayam Twad Asya Saranam Brahmato Nupakshe Prayena Diva Munaya Swavimukti Kama Monam charanti vijanina parata nishtaha naitan viha ya kripana vimumuksha eko nayam twat asya sharanam brahmato nupakshe. Anyone can chant?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All the verses in this chapter are in the meter that is common to the middle portion of Brahma Samhita. It goes like this. Prayena deva munayasva vimukti kama bonam charanti vijanena pararta nishta naitan virhaya grivana vimoksha eko nan yam dvarasya sharanam brahmato nupashye.
Anyone else?
Naitan Vihaya Kripanan Vimukshadeko Nanyam Tvad Asya Sharanam Brahmato Nupashe.
Anyone else? Word to word translation. Rayana, generally, in almost all cases, Deva, oh my Lord, Munaya, the great saintly persons, Swa, personal or own, Vimukti Kamaha, ambitious for liberation from this material world, Munam, silently, Charanti, they wander in places like the Himalayan forest, where they have no touch with the activities of the materialists. Vijane, in solitary places. Na, not. Para ata nishtaha, interested in working for others by giving them the benefit of the Krishna consciousness movement. By enlightening them with Krishna consciousness. Na, not. Itan, this. Vihaya, living aside. Kripanan, fools and rascals, engage in materialistic activity, who do not know the benefits of the human form of life. Vimumukshe, I desire to be liberated and to return home, back to Godhead. Eka, alone. Na, not. Anyam, other. Twat, but for you. Asya, of this. Sharanam, shelter. Brahmataha, of the living entity, rotating and wandering throughout the material universes. Anupashya, do I see? Translation and purport by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. My dear Lord Nishinghadi, I see that there are many saintly persons indeed, but they are interested only in their own deliverance, not caring for the big cities and towns. They go to the Himalayas or the forest to meditate with vows of silence, Mona Vrata, They are not interested in delivering others. As for me, however, I do not wish to be liberated alone, leaving aside all these poor fools and rascals. I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. Therefore, I wish to bring them back to shelter at your lotus feet. Purport. This is the decision of the Vaishnava, the pure devotee of the Lord. For himself, he has no problems, even if he has to stay in this material world, because his only business is to remain in Krishna consciousness. The Krishna conscious person can go even to hell and still be happy. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj said, Naivo Dvije Paradura Tyaya Vaitaranyaha. O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence. The pure devotee is never unhappy in any conditions of life. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 17, and text number 28. Nayana Narayana Parasave Na Putashana Biyate Swaga Pavaga Nara Keshu Api Toyata Dashina. Devotees solely engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, never fear any condition of life. For them, the heavenly planets, liberation, and the hellish planets are all the same. Such devotees are interested only in the service of the Lord. For a devotee, being situated in the heavenly planets, being in the hellish planets, are equal. For a devotee lives neither in heaven nor in hell, but with Krishna in the spiritual world. The secret of success for the devotee is not understood by the karmis and gyanis. Karmis, therefore, try to be happy by material adjustment, and gyanis want to be happy by becoming one with the Supreme. The devotee has no such interest. He is not interested in so-called meditation in the Himalayas or the forest. Rather, his interest is in the busiest part of the world, where he teaches people Krishna consciousness. The Krishna consciousness movement was started for this purpose. We do not teach one to meditate in scheduled places just so that one may show that he has become very much advanced and may be proud of his so-called transcendental meditation, although he engages in all sorts of foolish materialistic activity. A Vaishnava like Prahlad Maharaj is not interested in such a bluff of spiritual advancement. Rather, he is interested in enlightening people in Krishna consciousness because that is the only way for them to become happy. Prahlad Maharaj says clearly, Nayam Twat Ashya Sharanam Brahmato Nupashye. I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. One wanders within the universe, life after life. But by the grace of a devotee, a servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one can get the clue to Krishna consciousness and then not only become happy in this world, but also return home back to Godhead. That is the real target in life. The members of the Krishna consciousness movement are not at all interested in so-called meditation in the Himalayas or the forest, where one will only make a show of meditation, nor are they interested in opening many schools for yoga and meditation in the cities. Rather, every member of the Krishna consciousness movement is interested in going door to door to try to convince people about the teachings of Bhagavad Gita as it is, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. That is the purpose of our Krishna movement. The members of the Krishna consciousness movement must be fully convinced that without Krishna, one cannot be happy. Thus, the Krishna conscious person avoids all kinds of pseudo-spiritualists, transcendentalists, meditators, monists, philosophers, and philanthropists. Om Gyana Timiranda Shia Gyana Jana Salakaya Rakshu Ominitam Yena Tasman Shigurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapita Mina Bhutali. Swayam Papadamaya Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate. Gopisha Gopika Radha Kantana Mostute. Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Pristaya Bhutali Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shitatmani Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Tinamini. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutali Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gora Vani Pracharini Nrevashisha Srinyavari Pashatyadi Satarini. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gora Bhattavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakapatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanabhyo, Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So once again, we thank everyone for being here for us to discuss a wonderful verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, this chapter is titled Prahlad pacifies Lord Nrsimhadev with prayers. So we can imagine if Prahlad Maharaj is pacifying the Lord with his prayers, then it's something. Because even materially in this world, how many times can you pacify somebody who is in a very high position? For instance, like the president of the United States. How many people can think of trying to please the person, pacify the person? It's not easy. What do you think of the Supreme Lord himself? I mean, there's no way that we can compare a personality like the president of the United States to the Lord. I mean, that comparison doesn't even exist. It's like, in our little way of understanding things, it's like trying to compare a drop of water with the complete sea. It practically doesn't even make sense, right? Right. So in today's test, we are being made to understand how Prahlad is pacifying the Supreme Lord. And Prahlad made it categorically plain. He made it plain here in the test that the world is full of many saintly persons. But most of them, all they are interested in trying to liberate themselves. They are more concerned about their personal achievements. So most of them, they go to the Himalayas, they go to the forest and try to meditate. And mostly they make some vows, some serious vows that I will not even speak, maybe for 2 years. So their main aim is to make sure they get purification and then they qualify to go back to God. Thinking about themselves, their own liberation. But Prahlad says, no, me, I'm not like that. I'm only interested. I don't want to be liberated alone. I want to come with others. So Prahlad is saying that you look into the world, I want to go to the cities. I want to go to the villages, the towns, everywhere, and get as many as I can with me. for the liberation. And Prabhupada speaks in the purport that this is the mentality of the Vaishnava. This is the position of what? The pure devotee of the Lord. He is not interested in his personal liberation. He is interested in the fools who are so absorbed in thinking of what? Enjoying material nature. He wants them liberated. And that Prabhupada explains in the purport that the pure devotee doesn't even care if he has to go to hell. Because whether in hell or in heaven or on earth, the pure devotee is always in the spiritual world. How is that? How is that possible? I mean, come to think of it. The pure devotee, irrespective of his geographical location, he is always absorbed in thinking of the Lord. And that alone puts him in the kingdom of God. Because the kingdom of God is within. So when you are fully absorbed in thinking of the Lord, then it doesn't matter your geographical location. You'll always be in tune with the Lord. And that is the position of the pure devotee. And the pure devotee's mission is to teach us how to also be absorbed in thinking of the Lord, so that we will always be what? In tune with the Lord. And once we are in tune with the Lord, then we are always in the spiritual world, in the presence of the Lord. It doesn't matter where we are in this world, whether in the earthly planet or in the heavenly kingdom or in hell. We will always be in tune with the Lord. And that is the nature of the pure devotee. I mean, come to think of it, it's like when we say the materialist is trying to enjoy his senses. It's like you, take yourself for instance, when you are in a dream, when you are dreaming, and let's say a lion is after you. How would you feel in the dream? You'll be running and sweating and be so scared. But it's not that is not illusion, it's reality. But it's real as long as you remain in the dream. As long as you absorb yourself to stay in the dream, then that thing is reality. You will be sweating, really, and you'll be feel the sweat coming out of your body, right? You will be sweating, and sometimes you will be shouting, and people who are in the room with you, they will hear you shout. Because as long as you want to remain in the dream, then that reality never goes away. It stays with you. But another person beside you might be having the same dream. But that person realizes that he has the full conviction that, oh, this is not, I'm dreaming. And as long as you know that you are dreaming, then that thing ceases to be reality. So it doesn't matter how many lions will be chasing you in the dream. It will not bother you because you know it's a dream. It's not reality. Right? So that is the position of the pure devotee. Even though the dream is happening all around him, but deep within, he knows that this is not the reality. I'm dreaming. I'm only in the dream state. And so whatever is happening around me here is not the real thing. But those of us who are not in that position, once we are in that dream, we are seeing everything as real and we will be suffering the effects of it. The only time that we can be relieved of that situation is if someone besides us wakes us up. Wakes us up. Hey, Adibo, what is going on? You wake up. Oh my God, it was a dream. Huh? And that is why before we recite, anytime before we even recite the scripture, we always pay our obeisances to the spiritual master. That we are in the darkness of ignorance. And he opens our eyes with what? With the touch of knowledge. Immediately you recite that prayer, you are supposed to go within and be absorbed in that prayer. Because once you are absorbed in that prayer, then you truly understand how you don't have to stay in the dream state, but get awakened. And immediately you awaken like that, then everything you are saying in the scripture becomes reality to you. This is the way we live our life. If we don't live like that, then like what the purport Prabhupada is explaining here. We become so foolish to the extent that we don't even reason properly, right? Let me give you a short story about. There is this one person who is a beggar. He lives on the street begging, but somehow or the other, by divine grace, where he was living, where he was begging, was close to a very prominent person's house. So somehow or the other, anytime the person gets out of his house and is going to work, the person will see this beggar and he drops $100 bill. Anytime he passes by, he drops $100 bill. Like that. He did it for years, like 2 years. And this beggar was enjoying it so much. And he was enjoying it. But unfortunately for the beggar, he was not taking advantage of the $100 bill that he was being given every day. He was not taking advantage of it. But he was so absorbed in trying to enjoy the $100 bill to the extent that he didn't even make any attempt to improve his physical situation, to save some of the money to even change his dress. No. Because what? He's thinking that immediately I save and change my dress, this $100 bill may stop, because the guy might not see me as a beggar anymore, right? It might stop. And then one day, the man passes by, he did not give him no money. Another day, he did not give him. It went on for a couple of days, and the beggar became alarmed. And what did he do? After a while, he boldly confronted the man. Why have you stopped giving me money? I've always been relying on you, depending on you. Why have you stopped? And the guy, oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I have an emergency in my house. I have to take care of my wife. There is an emergency, and so now I'm saving that $100 to take care of my wife. Then the beggar was like, what do you mean? That money belongs to me. Why are you saving it for your wife? Why? And the guy said, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Why is it that money belongs to you? It's my money. And now I've gotten an emergency in my house, and I want to use that money to take care of my emergency. The beggar will say, no. The beggar said, no, 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 no. No, this money is mine. So if you have an emergency in your house, you should find another means to take care of the emergency in your house. Why are you using my money? So my question to you is, what the beggar was saying, is it reasonable? Huh? Is it reasonable? I've been giving you money out of the depth of my heart. I've been giving you money for free. Now I say I need that money for emergency in my house, and now you are angry with me. Why am I using the money for my own emergency, my own money? You look at our lives every day, and we are doing the same thing. Our whole existence is the same as that beggar. There's nothing that we actually deserve. Even to wake up for the day, the air that we breathe, everything, even to get a meal to eat, it's somebody's mess. God is giving us all this mercy for free. Come to think of it, if you go to the hospital and you are so diseased, and they intubate you, put oxygen on you, how much money do you pay for that oxygen? So much money. To be intubated, that oxygen you are being given, it costs so much, right? But when you are not in the hospital and you are walking around, the same oxygen somebody is giving you for free of charge. You don't pay anything for it. But you cannot even be grateful for that. After God giving us everything for free, now along the line, if that free thing, we are missing one of it, and it's like not coming like we expect it to be coming, then what do? We become like that beggar. We go to God asking him, why have you stopped bringing this thing to me? This thing is mine. If God, if you have emergency in your kingdom, you should find another means to solve it. Why are you using uh, my facility to solve your problem? So this is the mentality that we have every day in our everyday life. We are thinking that no matter what it is God's duty to take care of this in our life. And so when it's not coming, then there's a problem. But if we are grateful, then we will see it as a gift, like the beggar. If he is actually grateful, then he will see that the $100 bill the person was giving to him every day was just a donation, was just a gift. And that if even whether it comes or not, he should still be appreciative of whatever he has received before, right? But we don't have that appreciation. Like the beggar, we never appreciate anything that comes our way. And that is why we are never satisfied in this world. And that is why we can never be happy in this world. Because we are always thinking in a very absurd way. And like a popular example that I always give when I preach, like this guy who was in the church and he was praying seriously because he owed some money to somebody, $100. He was praying so much seriously, crying, because the person he was owing money to was always on him. Please give me my money. What is going on? Give me. So this guy was like so miserable. So he was praying seriously, God, please, what have I done? I only need $100, just $100. All these services I've been doing to you, God, please give me $100. Let me settle my bill. And now me and my family, we will have peace of mind. This guy was praying very serious, deeply from his heart, and he was crying. And so after praying for a long time, he decided to go home. And immediately he was leaving the church. Somebody came, tapped him at the back, and said, "Hey man, here is $100. Take it. Go and settle your problem and be happy." So immediately he received it, he was so happy. Oh, God has answered my prayer, right? Then something happened. What happened? He immediately recognized that this guy who was giving him the $100 was the same guy who was sitting in front of him when he was praying. This guy heard everything I was saying in my prayer, and he has given me this $100. Oh my God. Why have I made this mistake? I should have said $500. Then maybe he would have given me $500. And that would have been very great for me, right? I would have paid the $100 bill and still have $400. So now my questions. Now, what is the problem of that guy now? Huh? Now he has gotten another problem. First, his problem was $100. And he was sincerely from his heart. He knew if he had $100, he would be happy. Right? But now he has gotten the $100 and he's not happy. Why? Because he's thinking, I have been stupid. I should have asked for $500. So now he's thinking he made a mistake for not saying $500 because the guy was right in front of him. This is the nature of the way we think. We can ask God for everything. Let God fulfill that desire, and we will still not be happy. Why? Because our mentality is that, oh, I made a mistake. Maybe when I was praying, I should have said, huh? You want a beautiful wife. You are praying seriously. Finally, God gave you a beautiful wife. But you realize that the wife doesn't know how to cook. So now you get another problem. Oh God, why did you give me a beautiful wife who doesn't know how to cook? So now your prayer will change. Please, I want a beautiful wife who knows how to cook. Huh? This is the nature of the world. We never be happy with whatever. But what? The only time we can be happy is that when we begin to understand, like the dream story I was talking about. When we begin to understand that we are in a dream state, and as long as you understand that you are in the dream state, then whatever is happening to you in the dream state will not be a botheration to you. And so Prahlad is saying that his only desire is to make sure that he preaches to people in the conditioned state of life who will also be liberated with him when it's time for him to go. All these people, he wants to save them. And Prabhupada is saying in the purport that this Krishna consciousness movement, he set it up in such a way that is our prime duty. The mentality of Prahlad Maharaj. To go out from door to door and talk sense into people. Let them understand how you can never be happy in this world. But when we say how you cannot be happy in this world, it's like you go to a restaurant and someone is enjoying his meal and people are at the beach and you tell them, oh, there's no happiness in here. They will tell you are stupid. What's wrong with you? I'm enjoying and you say there is no enjoyment here. But the thing is, the state of their mind, whatever you are doing, what is the purpose of you doing that? If the state of your mind is in the wrong position, then at the end of the day, everything you are doing will end up being what? A misery. Why do we say that? If you are doing anything and you are absorbed that this thing I'm doing it for the pleasure of the Lord. I'm doing it deep from my heart for the pleasure of the Lord. Then the Lord will say, oh, thank you very much. And when it happens like that, then every reaction that comes from that activity, the Lord will absorb it. Right? And because the Lord absorbs it, it never gives you any anxiety. Why do we say that? It never gives you anxiety because you get some fortification from your heart. Let me break it down. If you have $500 in your pocket and you are always thinking about the Lord, whatever you do, you want to do it for the satisfaction of the Lord. So when you go to the store to even buy groceries, at the back of your mind, what are you thinking about? You look at the aisles and you are thinking about, oh, God doesn't like meat, so I'm not buying no meat. God doesn't like some cigarettes, so I'm not buying no cigarette, right? So your 500 cedis in your pocket, the way you use it is based on the way you think, how can I please the Lord? Another person who is in the same grocery store with you will also be having the same $500 in his pocket. But because he is not thinking about the pleasure of the Lord, what the Lord will like, he's only thinking about what he will like. So he's thinking, oh, some cigarettes will be okay, some little alcohol is okay. So the two of you, by the time you get out of the shop, that other guy, his 500 cedis will be nothing because the things he decides to buy from the store, the 500 cedis is nothing. But you, the 500 cedis will be so much that you might even get a surplus. Why? Because you were not thinking about what you want, but you were thinking about what the Lord wants. That is the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. Because you are thinking about what the Lord wants, there are so many things that you abstain yourself from. Huh? Rules and regulations is not there to like control you. No, it's there to help us understand the true thing, the real thing, right? So that's why when you go to the grocery stores, you are not thinking about things that the Lord doesn't like. Because in the initial stages, it might look like a rules and regulations, but in a deeper sense, it's actually nothing. When you become a good citizen, it's like now when you get to Gita Nagari and you want to come to the inside, there is a gate at the door, right? So if you are a true citizen and you are coming to Gita Nagari, what do? You follow the right procedures. You punch in the passcode of and the gate will automatically open, right? But the rascal who doesn't want to follow the codes of Gita Nagari, what does he do? He's not really interested in the code, right? Because he knows he can go through the bush, huh? And just go beside it. So for him, that is how he lives his life. And why? He always trying to look out whether Dhruva is coming or not, because he is going through the right process, huh? So he's always looking out. Who is looking at me? Who is what? But the one who is going through the right procedure, he doesn't care. It doesn't become a rules and regulation because he just follow. It becomes part of his everyday life. Just punch in the code and the gate automatically opens and you are in. But the one who is a thief, who he wants to go through the uh, the way that is not prescribed. And that is the nature of this world. Those who always want to go through the unprescribed path, they are always watching their back. They are scared. And that's why they can never be happy. But those who want to go through the right process, you are not scared of anything because you have done the right thing, right? If you speak one lie, you always have to think about another lie to defend what the lie you have said before. So you are always in anxiety because you always have to come up with another lie and another lie and another. But once you say the truth, you are done. If they ask you 1,000 times, you will say the same thing because you said the truth. And that's why living by the codes and the ethics of existence is easy and it makes you a free person. Does it make sense? Thank you very much. I'll end here and we shall accept some few questions, comments, and contributions before the time is up. We have about 10 minutes. And so if there are any questions or comments and or contributions.
I have something, but I want to wait until online. Yeah. Everybody online.
Okay. We don't see any hands up yet. So
Thank you for your nice discourse and sharing. Appreciate that. I was thinking about your Guru Maharaj and our Guru Maharaj is in this lineage. We have everything, as you know, boils down to that Shikshastakam prayer, isn't it? If you have humility or trying to be humble, then it's all there. This microphone, that one. Oh, and this is for the ethereal folks, and that's for the inside folks. Yeah, we can turn it off real quick, and anyway, I'll get it out of there. So many complicated things giving class. We have two microphones. Isn't that funny? Thank you, Prabhu. So now we got everybody on board here. So you know the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Gita and the CC. It's all here. This cup has been created by the disciplic succession, isn't it? But your Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada has taken all that and squeezed it and condensed it into this essence of just Krishna consciousness. And so we're so fortunate that we get that one drop if we're lucky. But like you were saying, I think the key with like the gentleman, the beggar, and anybody else is we need to be grateful, isn't it? If we're grateful, every day we get up in the morning, first thing, let's be grateful for when we're alive. But if we're grateful in our Krishna consciousness, wow, then that drop will spread, and we'll get we'll get that kind of juice. Maybe we could talk about that. That gratefulness is the key. Just a thought there. I'll turn it off and we'll put it back on. I just turned it off.
Yeah, grateful is very, everything now. When you are grateful, you can go through life very easy. Because when somebody does something and you are grateful, you show gratitude, then the person will want to do more. Right? Oh, the other day, I didn't give $5 to John Martin, and she was so happy. Oh my goodness. The next time I see her, I'm giving her $10.
Die.
So, we should be grateful, right? And that's why Krishna has sent his pure devotees to us. You want to be grateful. When you show the gratitude, you'll be amazed at how much knowledge you have. But the secret is the key of important in your life. If no ordinary, it's like there is this guy and this member also who was living outside the mansion. A very rich man. He lived out there. And then before the rich man passed away, he wrote a will. And in his house, he has so many like very important like important items in the house. But in his will, he said that this must be auctioned because he only had one son, and the son had passed away. So he said they must be auctioned. So the butler in the house was the one in charge of the auction. So the day of the auction, but before the rich man passed away, someone has made a portrait of one of his sons. That second was very dedicated to him, very loyal son. Someone had made a portrait of that loyal son, and it was handed. And according to the will, that portrait should be the first thing that should be auctioned. So many people came. So many people came. And anybody who was going into the house, they saw the beggar at the front. And some people will put maybe $1 to him like that. So at the end of before the auction began, the beggar had just $1. It was not even up to $20. Right? But he decided to go to the auction to take of it. An auction done. Billionaires are coming to billionaires and billionaires are coming to Krishna. And this beggar wasn't going to the auction. So he was going to do the worship. And they started the auction. They put the portrait of the loyal son. It started with $5, $5, you know how to do auction. $5. Who is paying $5? $5. All the billionaires are thinking, what is this nonsense? We don't need this portrait of this all in the point in fire. But the beggar, he looks at himself and he's thinking, oh, this I can afford $5. So he paid it. $5. Yes. Then it goes to $4, $5, $5, $5. So he paid and the portrait was given to him. And immediately the workman said, well, according to your will, there is something at the back of the portrait that determines the continuation of the auction. So whoever has bought the portrait should turn the back and look, there's a paper there, open it, and then we will know. So this beggar, he turned the portrait around, took the paper, open it and he read it. And inside it is said in the book, in the paper, that according to the rules of this auction, whoever buys this portrait wins the whole everything in the auction, including the mansion. So the auction is finished, is done. But the person who won that first portrait is automatically, according to your will, he automatically wins everything. And all these other millionaires were there. So that is how it is. The beggar is like me and you. And the portrait of the lawyer servant is the Guru Maharaj. So once you got that portrait, the Guru Maharaj, then there is the same time once you get that Guru Maharaj, all the picture of the owner belongs to you. And that is why it's very important that once we get a Guru Maharaj, we have to be very grateful. Because our gratitude should, why should, because once we get it, we get it all the rest. It comes about.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
We have no idea
You have no idea
how many lifetimes your Guru Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, has come back and brought all this and condensed it and condensed it and condensed it, and just for us right now.
Yeah, you have a question? Let us know.
So, my question was, can you say that we constantly, can you hear me like this, or should I use the microphone? So, we are constantly unsatisfied, so we're causing these problems in our minds, and that's causing us to be distressed and miserable, right? But when we learn how to be grateful and use what we have for the Supreme Godhead, all of this distress, greed, and wanting more gets removed because we start to understand that this isn't ours, and we learn how to work with Krishna. Can you say?
Yeah. Actually, when we become Krishna conscious, it's not that all those miseries have been removed. No, they have not been removed. They are still there, but you now live above it. You understand me?
Yeah.
You live above it because once you know one thing is true, and that's what we do now. If you want the mind under control, the mind is your best friend. But if the mind is controlling you, it's your worst enemy. Right? So the whole idea of the challenge is that mind under control. And the mind is under control, happiness is lost. Because nothing can bother you. You see everything that comes as. I mean, if winter comes, do you like winter when you are home? No, does not mean when winter comes, you kill yourself because winter has come. No, you learn how to take the winter. So you find someone space heater, you put it around you. So now when the cold is coming, the heater will have to sustain yourself. So that when summer comes and it's too hot, you just find some fan or some revolution and you just go down. You don't let it keep. And that's what great is. Once you become sober, we become a shaman of happiness and stress. Honor and restore. They are also saying.
Hare Krishna Chakaprabhu, can you talk to the speaker? We can't hear. It's Bray.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Can you hear now?
Yes.
All right. So the idea is the reason why Krishna said that when you become sober, honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, they are all the same because your mind is now under control. You control the mind doesn't control you. But as long as you let the mind control you, that is the problem of the world. Because when the mind is controlling you, you can never be happy. And that is why your desires keep soaring up and up and up and up. Right? Because if Krishna gives you one thing, then you are thinking I should get the next thing, that thing. That is someone who lives under the control of his mind. Right? Yeah. So the Maha Mantra is there to help us chant the holy name of the Lord, is to help us to bring our mind under control. So that we don't contemplate on the object of the senses. Krishna says, whilst contemplating the object of the senses, a person develops attachment for it. If you see a woman and you don't contemplate on the features of the woman, you don't develop attachment for her. Right? But if you are always contemplating on the features of the woman, you'll be surprised. When you are chanting, you are holding the beast, but your mind is elsewhere. Your mind is still contemplating. And even though you'll be wearing a brahmachari cloth, but in deep within you, you are not even a brahmachari because your mind is fully absorbed in something, a woman who passes by it. We should try to kill that lust right from that. Because if you don't kill it from the beginning, you are a dead man. Because Krishna says, whilst you are contemplating on the object of the senses, you develop attachment. And from that attachment, lust develops. And from lust, the bewilderment of memory, loss of intelligence, and then degradation. So right from the day one, you have to kill that contemplation. And once you kill that contemplation, then the attachment will not be there. But that is difficult for us to do. And Krishna has given us the Maha Mantra to teach us how to what? Stop contemplating on the object of the senses. Right? So that is what the Maha Mantra does. And once you stop contemplating on the object of the senses, then you recognize your brother. Whoever is around you, you have proper interaction. That interaction is what is going to take you back home, back to God. Proper association. Dhruva Maharaj, now we are ready for your question.
Yeah, this is good. Because there's nice kata going on. So, thank you to everybody. Okay. So I wanted to thank you for a very nice class. Very nice points to contemplate. When you were giving this example of the first beggar, everybody remembers the first beggar and this man's wife that's become ill. So I wanted to thank you so much for all the flowers that you donate to Sri Srimad. I was wondering if I become like that beggar.
And here,
How I feel it is my rights to get flowers. And so we are very, very grateful for all the donations that you made for the flower gardens for Sri Sri Radha. Sometimes I get desperate, and I must admit I sometimes start thinking like a beggar. But why can't I get flowers? I really looking for something.
Dhruva is sometimes very funny.
We can call it bigger. First bigger, we can call him also Puja.
All right. Is anybody online who wants to ask questions? We have been given a little bit leeway. Yeah. So the idea is the process of Krishna consciousness is to train ourselves how to come to the level where we can what? We can control our mind. But it's not easy. Arjuna asked Krishna. Arjuna said, Krishna, you say I should control my mind. But I'm telling you, Krishna, to control my mind is even difficult than when there is a storm and you ask me to open my arm and control the storm. So come to think of it, if Arjuna is saying that even controlling a storm is easier than controlling the mind, then you should understand that controlling the mind is not a simple thing, right? But what did Krishna say? Krishna says, yes, I know it's difficult, but with constant practice and detachment, you can do it. Constant practice. And that is why we do constant practice. When we say chant 16 rounds, that is the constant practice we are talking about. You do it constantly. And the more you do it, gradually there will come a time you will be so absorbed that immediately you start chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Your environment, you become completely detached from your environment. But in the beginning, it's not easy. You will be chanting and your mind will go, am I going to be able to pass my test? This test is so Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. This professor is so difficult. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. But stop, don't stop. Keep chanting. And there will come a time that you will not even think about the professor anymore. Huh? You say Hare Krishna and you absorb in the name. And that's why when you are chanting, you should hear your voice. Why? Because sound vibration is so powerful that the more you hear your voice, the more it brings you home. Have you tried to memorize some verses before? I remember when we were in school, when we were asked to memorize verses, some like principles. The easiest way to memorize is to say it aloud, isn't it? When you want to memorize something, when you say it aloud, it's easy. But if you want to memorize it silently, it takes you a long time to memorize it. And you can practice it and see. If you take a verse in Bhagavad Gita, you want to memorize the quotation, you first say it aloud to yourself for a while, and the next thing you try to say it to another person. Prabhu, this verse in Bhagavad Gita is very nice. Even though you may not be talking about anything in relation to that verse, but for your own sake, Prabhu, have you ever seen this verse in Bhagavad Gita? Then you recite to your friend. By the time you recite to one or two, three friends, the thing is stuck in your head. That is the technique of Maya Mantra. Yeah? Does it make sense? Good.
You have a question.
Oh, time is up?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hare Krishna. Tantaram Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Saving, loving none, my shall. Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai
Krishna